Fuse texture, you want to apply that in your material editor. Once your model is loaded, aim your model to what you want. Load your texture, your apparent texture in here through your material editor like so. You want to make sure that that initial diffuse and your apparent texture is applied to your model, right? So that the mapping of as far as the UV texture coordinates are applied to the model. And again, this also is going to include your transparency. If you don't have this option here for image alpha, then you may make sure to adjust the texture so that you do. Otherwise, your transparent areas are not going to show on the model. So that is critical. That's a critical piece. If you want that transparency there, put the alpha channel to show. Okay. And the next texture you want to apply is that specular model, which is your mask, which is going to be the areas that you want to have gloss to it. Right? This can be in the form of a bitmap. It doesn't need to be a TGA with the alpha channel or anything like that. Nothing special with that. So that is our reflection there. So there we go. So that is your next texture. Your other texture you want to apply 100%. And I have shown this previously as a bump. You don't want to have it in bump. You want it in reflection. Okay. So the only texture that you need to apply physically to the model is your main texture, which is your primary texture, your main diffuse. That's the only one. These other textures that you do apply here, do not need those physically applied to. As long as they are populated under the specular and the reflection, it should be good to go. The only other requirement, I guess as far as prior to mass export, is to apply the specular level and glossiness level. Primarily, I guess the best results that you'll get out of this is a 5 on the specular and a 25 on the glossiness. This will give you a pretty good result for applying glossiness to such things as windows. You can feel free, I guess, to adjust this as you see fit to get the proper result that you're looking for. But you can also kind of go back and forth between this and your texture, adjusting the amount of white or gray to that mask texture for your reflection of your primary texture. All right, you can adjust that to get the level of glossiness that you're looking for. This, like I said, seems to work, I guess, the best, because as far as this result and having this amount, this level of grayness, if you will, this as far as to get the sufficient amount of glossiness to that. And we'll be able to see this once we create the model, right? All right, so